Hello everyone and welcome to 5-Minute German. In today's video, I will tell you everything that you need to know about numbers in German, starting from the basic numbers such as 0, 1, 2, 3, up to the large numbers such as 1000, 2000 and so on. I will explain everything to you in the most simplest terms so that you don't have any issues. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. So before I start with the numbers, I want to tell you that numbers in German are very easy. I know that you might be surprised hearing this, but this is true. Let me tell you why. So you see, in German, you can divide numbers into two types. One is the numbers that you have to memorize, and the second is the numbers which follow a pattern, so you don't have to memorize them. And the good news is that you only have to memorize 18 numbers, and these are the ones that you see on the screen right now. And all the rest of the numbers, they follow a pattern. For example, the numbers that you see over here, 42, 58, 99, 126 and so on. So once you have memorized the 18 numbers on the left side, then you can make any number that you want by simply following a pattern. And I will explain to you in detail how you form these patterns so that you don't have any problem with numbers in German. So, numbers in German are called die Zahlen. This is the plural. And the singular is die Zahl, which is number. So the first number is 0. Then we have 1 or 1 in English. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, which is 3 in English, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, which means 5, 5, 6, meaning 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, meaning 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10, meaning 10, 11, meaning 11, 11, and 12, meaning 12, 12. So these are the numbers from 0 to 12. Let's go through them one more time. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So great job. The hard part is done. So you have already done 13 of the 18 numbers that you have to memorize. Now let's move forward and see the numbers 13 to 20. So the first number in this category is 13. So in German, whenever we read a number, we read it backwards. What do I mean by this? So we will take the number 3 and after that we will take the number 10. And we can combine them to make the number 13. So 13 in German is 13. Over here I have separated the 3 and 10 to make it easier for you to understand. However, it is written together as 13. So 13 in German is 13. And this is the pattern that we will follow for all the following numbers. So the next number 14 will be 14. 4 comes at the start and 10 at the end. So 14. And it is written together as 14 without the empty space in between. The next number is 15. 15. And this is also written together as 15 without the space in between. The next is 16. However, over here there is an important thing to know that the S at the end of 6 will be removed. So we will have 16 and it is written without the space as 16. The next one is 7. Over here again we will remove the en at the end, so it becomes 17 and it is written together as 17. The next one is 18 and just like the previous ones it is written as 18 and without the space 18. And the last one is 9. And you guessed it with the sen at the end, so 19 and written together as 19 without the space in between. So the rule for these numbers is that we always have the number and the ending sen, as we saw with 13, 14 and so on. And now the last number which is 20. 20. 20. This is also one of those numbers which you have to memorize. So now let's move on to the numbers from 20 to 99 and see how they are formed in German. So we already saw the number 20, which is 20. Now over here you see that the ending is sich, and this is the pattern that we will follow for the other numbers as well. So now let's take another number, 40. So for 40 we will take the fear and the ending sich, so it will become fear sich and written together as fear sich without the space in between. I have skipped 30 right now and we will come to it at the end. So the next number 50 will be written with a 5, so it will be 50. 50 with the same ending as 40 and 20. The next number 60 will be with 6, and over here again we will remove the s at the end, so it will become 60. 60. Then 70 will also follow the same pattern, so we will remove the en at the end and it will become 70. 70. For 80 it will be 80. 80. And 90 will be 90. 90. So you see that for all of these numbers we again follow the pattern that we have the number and the ending sich at the end. Now what about 30? Does it also follow the same pattern? So over here there is a small difference, and that is that we remove the set in sich and we replace it with the s set. So 30 will be 30. The only difference over here is that the set has been replaced with the s set and it is written together as 30. So now you have all the numbers that you need to make the other numbers. So let's now take the number 42. So how will we make this number? So remember what we saw earlier, that we always have to read backwards. So in this case as well, we will take the 2, and because this is 40, so we will take the 40 on the right hand side, and these two will be connected with an und or and in English, and together we will write it as 42, and it will be written without the spaces, so 42. Let's take another number, so 43 now. This will also follow the same pattern. So we have the 3 at the start, 40 at the end, and both will be connected with the und in between. So it will be 43. 43. And we will remove the spaces, so 43. Let's take another number. So 44. This will be 44. So 44. The next number 45 will be 45. 45. Then 46. 46. 46. 47. 47. 47. 48 will also follow the same pattern. So 48. 48. 49 will also follow the same. So 49. 49. Let's take another number. 41. So in case of 41, you have to keep a small thing in mind, and that is that the s at the end of the eins will be removed and it will be pronounced as 41 without the s at the end of eins. So 41, and it is written together as 41. Let's take some more examples. So the number 50 is 50. We already learned that. Now let's take an example between 50 and 60. So the number 55. So we will follow the same pattern and read it backwards. So we will have 5 at the start and the ending will be 50 because this is 55, and both of them will be connected with an und in between. So this will be read as 55. 55. Let's take another example. So the number 87. Again the same pattern. So 7 will be at the start and 80 will be at the end, and both of them will be connected with an und in between. So it will be 87. 87. Let's take the number 91. In this case again we will remove the s from the eins and it will then become 91. 91. The number 99 will be pronounced as 99, again with the 9 at the start and the 90 at the end. So it will be 99. And here I have separated them so that you are able to differentiate between the different numbers. Now let's move on to the numbers between 100 and 1000. So in German, 100 is called 100. Now let's take the number 100. So this is very easy to form in German. So what we will do is take 100 as the ending and take 1 at the start, and again, as we did earlier, we remove the s at the end so that it becomes 100, 100, and it is written together as 100. So you might have noticed that in case of 1, the s is always removed when it is combined with some other ending. Only when it comes alone, then we say 1. Otherwise, we remove the 1 and we only say ein. For example, 100, 21, and so on. Now we follow the same pattern for 200. So we use zwei at the start and 100 as the ending. So it becomes 200. Same for 300. So 3 at the start and 100 at the end. So 300. Then 400 for 400. 400. 500 will be 500. 500. 600 will be 600. 600. In this case, we do not remove the s at the end. Then 700 will be 700. 700. In this case also, we don't remove the en at the end and we just say 700. 800 will be 800. 800. And 900 will be 900. 900. Now let's take some numbers in between. So we take the example of the number 952. So because this is 952, so we will say 900. This will be the starting. And for the number 52, we already learned how to pronounce this. So we will have zwei at the start and 50 at the end, and we will connect them both with und in between so that it becomes 52, and we will place it after the 100. So 952 will become 952. 952. And this is how it is written without the spaces, 952. Now let's change the first digit. So 252, this will become 252. So we just change the first number, 252, and it is written without the space. So 252. I know it's a little difficult to read, but with time and practice, you will be able to read this. Let's take another example. So 452, it will again follow the same pattern. 452. 452. Let's take a different example. So 418. How will we say this in German? So the 400 will remain the same, and we already learned that 18 in German is called 18. So we will just add this at the end, and this number will be pronounced as 418, and it will be written without the spaces. So 418. Let's take another example. 411. So we know that 11 in German is called 11. So we will just add it at the end, and the rest will remain the same. So the number will become 411, and written without the spaces, 411. Let's take one more example. So the number 408, this is also very simple. So 8 is called 8 in German. We will just add it to the end. So it will be 408. 408. And following this pattern, you can make any number between 100 and 1000. Now let's take a look at the numbers from 1000 onwards. How do we pronounce them? So we already learned that 100 is called 100 in German. In a similar way, 1000 is called 1000 in German. Let's take an example. So 1408. So we already learned that 408 is called 408, and for 1000, what we will do is we will write 1000. 1000. And again, the s from the eins will be removed. So this whole number will be 1408. So we just add the 1000 at the start, and it is written together as 1408. Let's take another example. 8408. So over here we will use 8000, 8408, and it will be written as 8408, again without the spaces in between. Now let's take a look at a much bigger number. This is 1 million, and in German it is called eine Million. Eine Million. The spelling is the same, only it is pronounced a little differently. So here you see the zeros which are separated, so that you know how many zeros there are in eine Million. And if it is 2 million, then you will say 2 Million, 3 Million, 4 Million, and so on. Let's take an even bigger number, that is 1 billion. This is called eine Milliarde. Eine Milliarde in German. And with this, you are done with the numbers. Great job. This is a big achievement because once you know the numbers, there are a lot of things that you can do in German. For example, now if you go for grocery shopping, then you can understand how much your groceries cost. This will also help you in introduction because you can tell your age in German now. And if someone tells you their age or address, for example, the street number, then you will also be able to understand them. And you will also be able to read the time now. So go out and practice these numbers in your everyday life so that you don't forget them. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. I have also created an exercise for you where you can practice what you have learned in this video. You will find the link in the description below. If you have any questions or any feedback, please let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to this channel and share it with others who are also learning German. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.